Hi everyone, Empress Justice here. If you'd like to check out daily readings from Empress Justice Tarot, you can check them out on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. If you'd like to check out the New Moon and Rohini reading, you can check it out on Empress Justice Tarot YouTube. How's everybody doing today? I'm sorry it's so late, but I've just been resting, because it's like I had a period of not sleeping very well and having all kinds of problems. I've been eating a lot, and I've been eating a lot of crap as well, so I can't even lie. I've been eating a lot of shit, but emotionally I'm in good spirits. I've been resting more, which is definitely having a marked improvement on my mood. My mood has improved a lot, and also I started bleeding, so you know what that means. And of course, as always, as soon as I start bleeding is the second everything starts returning to normal, my mood, my temperament, everything. So it's like, again, it's one of those things where when you're being gang stalked, everything is being peaked or pushed towards a certain crescendo. With me, it's always been periods. Like, every time I had a period, that's usually the opportunity for the psychotronic weapons to go up and the electronic weapons to go up and the harassment to go up. These perps aren't very bright, so they're just well funded, really. They're not that bright, honestly. But yeah, so everything's really been really quiet around here. I know the family have come back, but everything has been so quiet. I mean, it's great, but damn, like it's just such a sharp turnaround from like a couple of weeks ago where literally there was fucking chaos. And not even a couple of weeks ago, I think it's a couple or 3 weeks ago almost. Yeah, it's such a sharp and drastic change from like all the chaos that was going on weeks before to now, where everything just seems to be leveling out. But then again, this is the quiet phase of the abuse. There is always a quiet phase of the abuse. So like, I'm not taking it for granted that it's going to stay like this. The harassment is going to go up at some point. The foolishness is going to return at some point. So I'm just making the most of getting as much done as possible while everything is calm. That way, when things kick up again, I've got a reserve of stuff that I can do or I can rely upon in order to get myself through it. So yeah, it's a quiet phase at the moment, but it's only a matter of time before the shit starts up again, because it always does. Yeah, just been doing readings all day, just been trying to prepare for the June readings. I've got to step my stuff up a gear though, that's the only thing. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, that's about all there is to it. I couldn't get the blood test done, to be honest, because I was too dehydrated to do it. So I'm going to be doing it next month on June. I think it's June the 9th. I'm not sure. I think it's June the 9th, which is, it's not that long. It's not that long to go now. So I'm going to do it then. Hopefully I'll remember to drink lots and lots of water before I do it. And if not, I can always look back at this video and said, yep, past Fabienne said, drink lots of water. So it's a good thing that I'm recording this, because if I don't record this, I might most likely I'll forget if I don't fucking record it. So yeah, so I got blood test on the 9th. Again, I shouldn't really talk about this because it's personal business, but the thing is, again, your health is a very crucial part of the stalking, because the whole point of gang stalking to begin with is to make your death and your torture and all the pain that you go through look like natural diseases, rather than being caused by director's energy weaponry or being caused by psychological harassment. So of course, me talking about my health is really important here. I am losing weight because I can see a marked difference between a photo of myself 4 years ago and a photo of myself now. Now, it could be due to the fact that, because the thing is, I'm past 35 now. I'm 36 years old, 37 this year. So it might be a combination of collagen loss and muscle loss, because, even when you're not being stalked, you lose about 2% of your muscle every year, I believe. From like after the age of 35, you start to lose muscle mass. So I think part of me is thinking that I'm losing weight, but part of me is thinking it could be a combination of lack of bone density and lack of muscle, and which which in turn is reinforced by the gang stalking. So it could be that I might not be like losing weight, but I probably am losing weight. I can feel it. I can feel it. I can feel myself getting more slender. My skin is loosening, so yeah, I can feel it. I can feel it. I'm losing weight. Um, there might be the question of diabetes though, and that's something I've really got to watch, because diabetes, it runs in my family. Though to be honest, I don't think diabetes is actually a generational thing. I think it's just a case of like really shitty eating and lots of lots of salt, lots of sugar. Like, I think diabetes is not really genetic, and I think it's just a case of just eating really, really badly, especially type 2. I don't think type 2 is a generational thing or a genetic thing at all. I think younger generations of my family can easily swerve that with the right diet and the right nutrition. They can easily swerve it. That's if they're not being fucking targeted too, which most likely they are. Oh my God. But yeah, I have to watch out for that. So gotta watch out for the diabetes. And that type 2 thing is actually very common among people who have non-ionized radiation, by the way, who are constantly bombarded with it. Diabetes is one thing that is absolutely absolutely a part of non-ionized radiation, because you're constantly being dehydrated. So like having a high blood sugar, having a high coagulation in the blood, that can also be as a result of the dehydration and the non-ionized radiation caused by the electronic weapons, because the way the weapons work, the way they cause pain in the first place, is to draw the water from your body in one way or the other, is to draw the water out of you. That's how they cause the pain, right? So the diabetes, again, my diet could be a lot better, but to be honest, electronic weaponry can cause diabetes, just like elevated stress can cause blood pressure problems and heart problems and all that type of stuff. So yeah, so I can't make excuses for the way I've been eating or the way I've been handling myself. I can't make excuses for that. I can take responsibility for that. But also, I can't lie. Everything that's going on around me and to my body, which includes the electronic weaponry and includes the psychological harassment, all of that plays a part in my health. And this is the thing. People know that insulting one another and being unkind to one another, especially for no reason, it plays a part in ruining people's health anyway. It's just that nobody really cares. It's just that nobody really cares. So I don't know. Yeah, it causes problems to people's health, man. Some idiot from upstairs is whining about me being on the internet. I'm not even talking about them. You see, everything is about them. Everything is about them. I'm just basically online talking about my health and talking about electronic weaponry and psychological harassment, which is not even always them. Us TIs, we go out in the street and face that shit. Street theater, remember? But no, everything's about fucking them. I'm sick of it. Anyway. Yeah, so yeah, so basically your health is important to talk about. And again, I have been losing weight, so as you get older, especially, it is important to watch out for your bone density as well, because these weapons, because they can attack bone marrow as well. These weapons as well, the more lethal ones can attack bone marrow. So it's important to reinforce yourself with calcium, magnesium as well, good for bones as well. Anything that's good for bones, anything that's good for muscle, and anything that's good for the blood, that's what like a lot of TIs need to be on. I've heard a vegan diet is really good, but the truth of the matter is that this is where it gets really controversial, right? Because I've been reading up a lot about what's healthy and all that type of stuff. It seems to me like if you're a gang stalking victim, I'm not talking about ordinary people, but I'm talking if you're a gang stalking victim, right? It seems like a plant-based diet or a vegan diet can be good for the short term, but not for the long term, because there are certain ingredients found in meat that can't be found anywhere else. And given how much blood loss can occur when it comes to this type of stalking stuff, like the effect it has on your body, the amount of blood loss it can cause in women, especially, given how anemic we can be, given how diabetic we can be, given how much we can suffer with all kinds of different health problems, it seemed to me like the best diet that we could really be on is like a Mediterranean style diet, like low salt, low sugar, but like meat is included in it, white meat at least, and fish. So it seems like having like a Mediterranean or a sun-based diet is probably the best diet to be on if you're a targeted individual. Now, an American targeted individual told me all this stuff before, and I believe them, because I think, you know, if anybody should know about this stuff, it should definitely be them. But it seems like that's the best type of diet for targeted individuals to be on, like a Mediterranean style diet where they, you know, lots of olive oil, meat, fish, vegetables, all that type of stuff. So it doesn't seem like a good idea to be vegan in the long term or eat plant-based in the long term. It's, you know, it's just that you shouldn't eat meat every single day of your life. You shouldn't eat animal produce every single day of your life. Like, you need to have like 4 days where you eat plant-based, or where you eat like mostly a vegetarian diet, and then like maybe have 3 days a week where you eat meat. Now, again, with me, my diet is ridiculous. My diet is absolutely bad. I have moments where I eat really well. I eat celery, I eat carrots, I eat, you know, raw fruit and veg, because honestly, because I like the taste. I'm not gonna lie, okay? Especially baby cucumbers. Have you tried that shit? You don't mess with baby cucumbers, man. They slap. But yeah, so you know, there are times where I really like to eat raw fruit and veg, like strawberries, anything with antioxidants in it. I love that shit. I like celery, but celery is something I have to be careful with because I need a lot of hydration, and celery is a diuretic. And, you know, there are times where I love to eat that. Raw fruit and veg, I just love to eat it. There are times where I love to eat that. And then there are times like now where I'm eating a whole bunch of crap in order to stop myself from going back to that suicidal place again. You know how Ruin Euphoria is talking about how drugs are literally the only thing that are stopping her from literally killing herself? Sometimes it's like that with junk food as well. When you have an addiction, sometimes the only thing that's keeping you alive is that addiction. A lot of people say, oh, this is killing you. This is killing you. Going clean is really, really difficult. And, you know, sometimes, you know, and the thing is, drugs is something that, unless you're in a hospital, you don't really need them. Remember, morphine's made from heroin. So, I mean, unless you're in hospital, you don't really need drugs like that, you know. But food is something that you need like every single day. So, whilst it's definitely not as lethal as cocaine, or as a, you know, not as lethal as any class A drug, it's not as lethal, it's not as addictive. There is still a hold over you though, because you have the insulin resistance to deal with, and you have like the additives that are, you know, that are making you addicted. So I go through these phases where I eat really, really good, but then I slide back. And if things get really, really bad emotionally, like the gang stalking in particular gets really bad, or, you know, I feel tired and run down, then I'll eat and drink crap. Lots of sugar, lots of salt. And I know I shouldn't do it. I'm 36. I'm not young. I'm not a baby. I know I'm not 80, but I'm not young. I'm not that young anymore. I'm like 36, 37 this year. So I know I can't afford to eat like that. But there are times where, you just need to feel some semblance of joy, even if that joy is just the euphoria of feeding your addiction. And unfortunately, that's the stage that I'm at right now. So I get it. I get why people would think that I have no place to talk about what T.I. should be fucking eating. I get that. I totally get that. But yeah, apparently a Mediterranean diet is best for T.I.s. Somebody said to me once that, I think it was one of my relatives that said this to me. They said that diabetic foods are the foods that everybody should be eating. And I think there is some truth to that, especially if you're going to be attacked with fucking non-ionized radiation all the time, and it's going to be upsetting your blood sugar levels because you're dehydrated and because your kidneys are not working the way they're supposed to. I think there is some truth to that. I think there is some truth to, eating a diabetic friendly diet. I also personally think that the kind of exercises that people want to do, I think the type of exercise plans they give people with limited mobility and heart problems, everybody should be doing those exercises as much as possible, if not every day. Because it's like, it doesn't pressure you too much, but your body is stretching and your body is exercising, your muscles are being used, and therefore they're not atrophying. So I feel like, that's a good avenue to go down as well, So yeah, like health is like so underrated, and it's so important, and it's so vital. And yet it's the thing that we talk about the least. But the problem that I have with people who talk about health is that they don't talk about emotional health. Because truth be told, right? Whether you are talking about physical health or whether you're talking about mental health, the people who are touting these things are usually on the path of least resistance. Meaning, they're usually doing what is easiest for them, and they're telling everybody else to get on board with their least path of resistance. So we might get people who are very, very into physical health, but who fat shame, and who don't understand that the emotional side, which means not shaming your body no matter what it looks like, and not treating insulin resistance like a personality trait for cheap laughs, they don't seem to understand that emotional health goes into it as well, because there are a lot of people who work out their physical health that are not happy, or people who are seen as physically healthy because they're skinny or what have you, only to find that they've got like a multitude of health problems. But they don't see it as important, and other people don't see those health problems as important because they're skinny. Who cares? You're skinny, who cares? Who cares if you have like cystic fibrosis or sickle cell? You're skinny. Who cares if you have asthma? You're skinny. You're skinny. You look how society wants you to look. So who cares if you have those problems? Who cares if you're anorexic? Who cares if you've got cancer? Who cares if you're stressed the fuck out and your body is responding to it? You're skinny. So it leads to a point where people who are engaged in the physical health side of things, they seem to be only interested in the looks. They're not interested. They act like they're interested in your posture, the effects on your back, the effects on your physical health. And really, they're just on the path of least resistance, and they're just talking about looks at this point. And then you've got the people who are on the emotional health side of the equation, who rightly believe that shaming people for what their body looks like, or shaming people for what they eat is just not the way to go. They get it. But then on that side of the equation, you've got people on the line of least resistance as well, because then they're making excuses to remain sick. The truth of the matter is that unconditional love, or unconditional acceptance at least, radical acceptance, with the right people, I'm going to turn this light off because that sun outside is bright. I'm only not opening the blinds because it's messy in here. All right, so the thing is that people who are on the emotional health side of things, they rightly understood that you don't shame people for the way they look or the way they appear. They've got it on the money. But then that radical acceptance, when exercised with the wrong people, it becomes an excuse to stay sick. You're bullying me, so I'm going to stay sick. Fuck you. So it becomes an excuse for people to kind of not eat properly, not take care of themselves, because the world isn't treating them right. So why should I give them the satisfaction? They're not treating me right, so why should I give them the satisfaction of eating well or exercising or taking care of myself? So that's another path of the line of least resistance. The best thing to do would be to just communicate honestly, and just stop projecting our own self-hatred onto each other. And that's how we can help each other become healthier. Like, stop with this bullshit. Stop taking the line of least resistance all the time and actually engage with each other, as to how we can help each other become healthier, help each other become better people, and not just rely on the same fucking crap all the time and then convince you. Like, we can't keep beating each other up. We can't keep beating each other up to the point where we are acquiesced to one another's will and then call that health, or call that love, or call that civilized. So that's, when it comes to health, it is so important. But people use health as an excuse to stay sick. There are people who tout physical health, but use that as an excuse to stay mentally sick and take that mental sickness out on other people and become bullies and become tyrants. There are people on the emotional health side of the equation who take this very, very clear and very right understanding of radical acceptance and use it as an excuse to stay sick. So you've got people on two sides of the equation, and neither is helping because they're acting from the line of least resistance anyway. They're not doing the hard shit. Or if they are, they're still not doing the hard shit of just focusing on their own tasks and what they have to do. So I'm not saying that fat folk are not exercising. You can see there are so many fat people out there who are doing their thing. Those are not the ones I'm talking about. The ones I'm talking about are not the ones who are exercising and taking care of their bodies, because there are quite a few fat people and thin people out there who take really good care of themselves. That's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking physically and mentally, these people take care of themselves. I'm talking about the ones who are on both sides of the equation, but because they're choosing the path of least resistance, they judge everybody else. Because they're not prepared to do the hard stuff. The physical ones are not prepared to do the hard shit of shutting their mouths, looking inwards, and working out their own self-hatred and going to see a therapist or talking it out with loved ones. They're not doing the work. The emotional people on the emotional side, they're not doing the work. They're staying sick. They're kind of talking themselves up, but they're not talking themselves up into any kind of behavior that might actually be good for them. So this is exactly what I'm talking about when I say health is the most important thing, by, far and apart the most important thing there is, and yet everybody's overlooking it. Everybody's overlooking it. And as targeted individuals, I think We need to have an honest conversation about what we do health-wise and how we treat ourselves and how we treat other people health-wise as well. We need to have that conversation. And we need to understand what's helpful and what fucking isn't. I'm just saying. We need to have an understanding about what's helpful and what isn't, because, you know, we're not going to live forever. Nobody's going to live forever. And the way these weapons work, they are designed to shorten our lives without having anybody become any the wiser. That's what it's designed to do. But if we really care about our lives, then we've got to care about our health. And I got to start with me. You know, I can't be a hypocrite, like sitting in and drinking shit and eating shit and telling you guys, hey, you need to take care of yourselves. Like, really, bitch? Nope. You know what I mean? That includes me too. I'm doing it with you. I'm doing it with you guys. I'm not fucking perfect. Jeez. Yeah. But anyway, listen, I gotta go. I gotta go on with the rest of my readings. I've got so much to fucking do. Like, it's June. I've only done like one portion of my readings and I've got to do the other portions. It's a long fucking time-consuming slog. Like, just getting the skeleton of the readings alone is just so much. It's so much. But I do it. I do it because I love it. I'm not even doing it for you guys. I just I just do it because I love it. Like, I'm glad people enjoy my readings, but baby, that's not what I do this for. It is a labor of love and nothing more than that. That's all the fuck this is. Labor of love. But anyway, I love you guys, my fellow TIs. Take care. Peace and blessings to you and yours. And yeah, you stay strong and stay blessed. Bye-bye, you guys. Bye. Mwah.